Last week, I made a video building a starter home for 8 Sims, and today I want to try to build a micro home for 8 Sims. Starter homes are limited by budget, and micro homes are limited by size, specifically by tile count. So when you're building a tiny home, you get a maximum number of tiles to still get the perks, and the smallest size is a tier 1 micro home with 32 tiles, and this is all you get. So the idea here today is to try and fit 8 Sims in a house that is this small. And beyond just technically fitting there, I'd like for it to actually look good. I have tried this before, but I feel like it usually ends up being kind of ugly. So we have an extremely long list of goals to fit in a very small space. And I should probably warn you that there are currently 3 cats in my room, so if you see any movement behind me or like hear any running, that's just the cats. They are in full chaos mode right now, just running around everywhere. Before I stress myself out too much and get started, I want to tell you a little bit about the sponsor of today's video, Threadup. Threadup has been a huge supporter of our channel for a really long time, so a lot of you are probably already pretty familiar with them, but if you're not, Threadup is an online thrift store. So by shopping there, you can buy secondhand clothing and accessories all from the comfort of your home. It makes thrifting really easy and accessible, and I found some really amazing stuff on there. For the last year, or maybe even more, I've literally only bought clothes on Threadup. I haven't purchased anything new, only secondhand stuff from there. And I actually just got this shirt on Threadup, and this is one of my favorite things that I've bought recently. I really like this color, and nobody's surprised by that. It's like basically a blue Suburban in a shirt. Estimated retail was $30, and I only paid $15 for it. And this time I bought accessories for the first time. I got this watch, and it was only $16.99. I've never owned a watch before, so I'm kind of excited about it. The estimated retail was $40. Mostly, I've bought clothes from Threadup in the past, though. I have a little haul for you of some things I bought this week. I got a pair of jeans. Buying jeans is kind of scary, but these fit me well, so I'm pretty relieved about that. I paid $35 for them, but the estimated retail was $80 because they're originally from Madewell. I also got this green shirt, and I am obsessed with this collar. This is also one of my favorite things that I've ever bought from Threadup, and I paid $23 for it, and it's also from Madewell. So that is a really good deal. I was a little bit bold, and I decided to buy a dress. I'm not really a huge dress person, but I really liked the little flower pattern on this. This is from Hollister originally, and it was $21 on Threadup. I really like shopping on Threadup. You can get some amazing deals, but it's also so much better for the environment to buy things secondhand. Apparently 1 in every 2 people just throw away their used clothing in the trash, and the fashion industry accounts for so much of our global emissions, and buying things used is just something small that I can do to help cut back on that waste a little bit. So if you're interested in shopping on Threadup, they actually gave us a huge discount code. If you go to threadup.com and use code lilsimsie, you'll get an extra 35% off your first purchase and free shipping. I'll have that linked down below if you want to check it out. Huge thank you again to Threadup for sponsoring today's video. And okay, let's think game plan, because for this, we're gonna need to fit in a lot of people in a very small space. I'm thinking that this Murphy bed will probably come in really handy because we can make a living room, but also have a double bed. So I feel like we can have the parents in there. That's 2. A bunk bed makes us have 4. Another bunk bed gives us 6. And we could probably put a toddler and maybe even an infant somehow in this house, and that makes 8 Sims total. You can technically leave infants on this playmat, and in my 100 baby challenge, I never put them in cribs. I just leave them on that all the time. You know what? No, I'm gonna be sneaky because the alternative is to put a bassinet, and I don't think that that's as good. I feel like this has more gameplay to it. Then we need at least a full bathroom, and normally I would use this shower, but if we're putting a toddler and an infant, you need a full bathtub as well. That's gonna kind of complicate things, but I think it's worth it to have an upgraded bathroom. And now we gotta start thinking about layout. So I'm kind of imagining that we'll have it be mostly wide. This is kind of a weird shape, but that is 32 tiles, and I think that this is doable for furnishing. And I'm gonna do something kind of sneaky because I'm gonna put a fake second floor on the top of this. This is gonna be our key to saving ourselves. And the way that you do this is by drawing walls separately. So this is not a room. When you click downstairs, it's closed off. It looks like a room. I can click it all at once once and adjust it. This second floor is not a room. It's just a set of 4 walls touching each other. And that is our saving grace. Because I think if we did this any other way, we'd be doomed. I might also get myself a little bathroom just tucked onto the side, like right there. I realize it looks very alarming, but it's not as bad as you think because you can put a roof on top of this. You just can't put a ceiling on top of it. So we can add a little roof piece and kind of cover it up. We do have to put a wall here so I can get a roof on this floor, but that's covered now. So it'll look like it's inside as far as the Sims are concerned. The only problem is that sometimes you get some kind of weird lighting. I don't think it's doing it right now, but sometimes you'll have some weird moments where it looks like it's outside, even though it's technically inside. But that is a sacrifice that I am willing to make just because of how nice it is to have the extra space. All right, this is actually pitiful. Oh, and this is a good example of the carpet looking weird. Do you see how the tiles like not the appropriate color? Even with lighting on it, it looks kind of strange. It has like a blue tint to it. It does that. We have to just ignore it, basically. What am I doing? I started putting on roof trim. I don't have time for that. I need to think about floor plan. So I was imagining they'd walk in through a little front door right here. And then I thought I'd have the kitchen be kind of like this, but I don't know if that's gonna work with the upstairs. So let me rethink this. Can I put the staircase like that? I don't know. We can't do it over there because then it blocks the whole window. Yeah, I think that it being in the middle is really bad too. So maybe it should stay in the corner like this. We're gonna have to put so many beds upstairs. I don't know how that's gonna work. We do thankfully have a nice big bathroom and I can probably put even some extra stuff in this. So we'll try and play test that a little bit. I am actually now wondering if I can put the bathroom tucked away in this corner. This is a huge waste of space. Okay, I know, I can see that. I was gonna see if I could have like a separate bedroom somehow, but I don't think that's gonna work. I think the kitchen stays in this corner. Unless we make that into a kid's bedroom, because that could be a kid's bedroom. What if we had one of the bunk beds down there? Oh, the ladder doesn't work. Why are you doing that? If I put it like that, can they get into this bed? I'm gonna need to bring a sim and play test this, aren't I? So she can get up into the top bed. Can you get into the bottom bunk? Oh, you can. Oh my goodness. Okay, that's huge. Well, that makes a fully separate bedroom, and that's actually a really big deal because I wasn't expecting to have like a closed off room. I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself, but I'm thinking about color scheme right now and how cute would it be to have these yellow flower boxes with the yellow door. I think that's adorable. Okay, anyway, sorry. We do have a bedroom downstairs. I think I'll put carpet in there because then it looks like a bedroom. New plan is that maybe I could put the door on this side, and I'm imagining myself putting the kitchen cabinets kind of like along this way. I kind of want to put the bed. This is maybe bad. I'm not really sure, but I kind of want to put the bed like here. I don't know how far into the wall you can scoot the Murphy bed. Only about there. Okay. I'm gonna scoot the dresser in next to it and we'll keep this literally as far back as it'll go. Okay. I might put a wall right here. I know that seems like maybe a bad idea, but I want to have more space to put a TV on. I think that this should be fine because you can put the bed down. Obviously you can't get past it when it's down, but that's fine. Welcome to the tiny house. You can just put it up if you want to sit on the couch. Okay, here's an idea, and this might be a bad idea, but I'm wondering about putting some little islands right here. Can they get through if it's like that? I can maybe just have the one bar stool because then we can put a laptop right there and they could technically eat their food if they wanted to. Come here. What, you think it's poorly decorated? That's rude. Clearly it's perfectly decorated, I'll have you know. Okay, well they can get past that then. So that's actually really helpful to know. I only put cheap appliances, but I guess I don't need to have the cheapest appliances. If we want to have nice stuff, I never said the house had to be cheap. I just said it had to be a tiny home. I really like this bright yellow. I think it's a nice like sunny color. I'm putting some cabinetry on top of them. In real life, storage in this house would be absolutely key because there's like no space. So any storage you can get is like a complete lifesaver. The only counter they can cook on is this one. And I think that's fine. Oh no, I forgot how much I don't like the different colors on this. I actually really don't like most of the swatches on this item. I think it's gonna have to be that horrible blue color. I didn't really envision this house being like blue and yellow, but it seems that, it seems that that might be where the future is heading. This is also clipping and I didn't realize, so I need to scoot that back. Yeah, see, this tile looks completely different. That's the same tile, but look how much different it looks when it's inside of the bathroom. That's thanks to that weird lighting bug that I was telling you about. Actually, I don't know if I can call it a bug. It's just sort of how the lighting works in The Sims 4, and it's frustrating. The lighting is frustrating. Okay, I'm putting a robe in there. I feel like it would also help if we had like a curtain or something, and we could definitely use a toddler potty, so I'll put that in the bathroom. I'm putting some extra clutter too. This is the first time I've done a micro home that has a tub, I think. I feel like I normally just leave that part out when I'm doing these builds. We do need it. It's literally necessary, but I just feel like it's a waste of space having it. My little tiny home heart is like, put the tiny shower, put the tiny shower. Okay, I did just spell that wrong. I'm trying to get the unlock cheat because I want to use that rug. There's one from the Dream Home Decorator pack that I think would be perfect for this. It has that same like yellow and blue kind of color scheme. Well, now it's just off center with everything, so that can't be good. I was thinking that some sort of little ottoman might be a nice touch to put in this corner. Oh, I actually like that one a lot. That's really pretty because that gives you an extra seat. And then this thing is a miracle because this is a bookshelf, a TV, and a radio. So you can use that for pretty much everything. I could put a door to the backyard right here. That might be like the most logical thing to do. It does make the place look more open. It makes it brighter. I'm kind of leaning towards no backyard door though. I'm kind of thinking they can just get to the backyard by like going around the front, because then that gives me more space for like a skill building item, maybe a dining table. And I feel like that's what we need more than a back door. Oh no, oops. I forgot that I can't do that. Okay, so if we want to make this into 2 separate bedrooms, I can put this wall right here, and then I can put this wall right here, and that gives me a horrible little hallway, but I think that's fine because look, I have 2 more bedrooms. Maybe the baby should be downstairs with us. We just put this down here. No, that's bad, isn't it? I'm kind of thinking about putting an additional computer upstairs because we have this amazing little hallway and they can totally walk around this, so I think it would be foolish not to. I can also put the thermostat up here, which would be a huge help. I will admit that the hallway is probably a bit of a waste of space, but I'm just thinking that having it means that we can have separate bedrooms instead of like one big bedroom with just a bunch of bunk beds everywhere. And I feel like that's preferable. I feel like we want to have separate individual bedrooms for these Sims. Okay, I can put a dresser there. This is extremely tight, okay? It is extremely, extremely tight. But maybe it doesn't have to be an infant. Maybe it could be like twin toddlers. And then we can fit some toys in this room still. Okay, the side of the building looks horrible. I'm gonna try and cover this up with like a tree or something because that looks just ridiculous. Can I put the chairs like that? I guess I can. I guess I can put the chairs kind of like this in the little corner. I should also probably get a trash can and we can tuck that away right here. You know what I could do? And this is probably terrible, but if I really wanted to have a back door, I could put like a little glass door over here and just tuck that away in the corner because they can get out from there. I could probably make this not that ugly from the outside if I really tried. I'm gonna need to get myself some nice columns. It's nice not having to worry about money for this. It makes a huge difference. Okay, now that we have like most of the inside layout figured out, I want to start thinking about the exterior just to make it a little bit cuter. There are unfortunately some things that we're gonna have to just deal with. Like for example, I want to have little trim pieces and stuff. Well, we can't have any of that. We can get some of the cute little accent colors that I'd like to have. I really like having the little shingles up top. I think that's adorable. And I might use a really bright white paint color for most of the outside, and we'll just cover it with pretty yellow accents basically. Oh my god, this part's so ugly. Here I was just going on and on about trying to make the backyard look cute. Well, it doesn't. It doesn't look cute at all, actually. Okay, I'm trying a couple things over here. My first thought is that maybe I could put some sort of trellis on this part of the wall because I don't really like how it looks as just a blank wall. So maybe I can put a trellis there to cover it up. I hate that part. This upstairs area is ugly. I got some little bushes kind of tucked away in that section. In the front, we can have a couple little lights next to the front door. I'll probably want a light next to this horrible back door as well. Can I even put that on the column? Oh, okay. Again, I will come back to the inside. I'm taking a slight detour to fix the entire exterior because it looks like a complete and total mess. I think I want a little trellis along this back wall. I don't know. Okay, so this is kind of what I was picturing for the outside. I'm like mixing and matching a little bit with some yellow flowers. I will get a little planter box right there. I thought maybe I would put a pretty little doormat. Oh, we can put sunflowers in this. How cute would that be to have some pretty sunflowers by the door? And maybe I could get a gnome or something because look at how cute that one is. And that helps bring in some more of the yellow as well. Oh, I forgot to do this, but I was kind of picturing myself getting a cuter, more kind of cottagey looking roof texture. You know what could be another idea with one of these tiny homes? If you wanted to have an extra bed, you could probably put a tree house in the back. Because once it's built, you can have a sim sleep in there. Now, obviously, it's a little bit big, so I don't know if I'm gonna do that. But that might be a good concept to save some space in the future. Okay, so here's what I have for the backyard landscaping. It's very simple. In the actual backyard, I wanted to add a couple of extra things. First of all, I think it'd be nice if we had an actual table, just a little bit more space so that maybe a couple more of the Sims could eat together at a table instead of just sitting on the couch. I'm also gonna put some planter boxes because in a micro home, your Sims plants grow twice as fast, so you do get some perks when you use them here. I was thinking about monkey bars or a swing set, but I think I might stick to a basketball hoop because that takes up a little bit less space. And I don't remember how many Sims can use it at once, but I think a handful of them can. I put a little bench right there, and I think the last thing I want to get is a chess table. I know I put these in like every single one of my builds, but I just feel like it's very useful to have for skill building, okay? So yes, I keep using it over and over again, but I think it's worth it. And I feel like that makes for a pretty nice finished backyard. I might get a couple extra little lights. Money's not an issue today, so we can put as many of these as we want. It's good to have a couple more things in the backyard to help light it up. And now we have to finish the inside because I've put it off for too long. I really did not mean to make this all yellow and blue, but that's just sort of what worked with this couch. You kind of get stuck with what you have access to. So I realize I have done this color scheme a lot, but I feel like we're making it look different enough that maybe it's okay. I'm using a lot of tiny living, like pretty much everywhere in this house. Oh, maybe I could scoot this over. Maybe that looks better when it's over a tiny bit. How is that from the outside? If I put it right there, I can make it be in line with that window. And maybe that is preferable. Okay, so that's really tucked away into the corner. Not sure if that's good or not. I do have this lovely little shelf, so we can put that in here too for like kitchen storage. And maybe just a calendar. I feel like that makes sense. It's realistic to have it hung up in the kitchen. We're probably gonna want a couple little bits of clutter in the kitchen also. I'm worried about overdoing it because only one of these counters can actually be cooked on, but I can put a couple things. I'm also gonna put a fire alarm. That's quite low. Maybe put it up here. That won't hurt to have. It's not a bad thing to have some fire alarms. That might be the best that we can do downstairs though. We do have a bedroom down here, so I'm thinking I might decorate this one for like a couple of teens. I don't know if we can still get into the bed, but I really want to have this freezer bunny guitar. Come here. Okay, move that over. Can you get into the bed now? No. Oh, is it because of this? Oh, yikes. Okay, so we have to be really careful about how close we put it. I think as long as there's a half tile, it should be okay. Try again. Oh no, really? Ooh. Now we're at the hard part of this build where we're trying to fit everything in and it's gonna be really difficult. Can it not be even touching that tile? Okay, so that can't be moved over at all. That's the closest it can be put to this. I am gonna get an extra mirror because we can't put like anything else in this corner, I don't think. I thought about trying to get a rug, but none of these really even match. I guess the horrible hot pink one does match. It is a lot. It's an extremely bright color, but maybe that's fun. Wow, I am actually really surprised at how much I'm managing to fit into this room. I'm putting another desk. So we have another desk and another computer. I'm just thinking that it's nice to have stuff for every sim to be using when they're here. Oh, can you not get to the computer? Oh no. Okay, the freezer bunny guitar might not be a go. Can you use it now? Really? If I have you sit, can you use it? Sometimes they get kind of weird about that. You have to like have them sit and then have them use it. I think it should be fine with the guitar then. I'm gonna keep it. Okay, so here's the first teens room. So we've got 2 sims sleeping in here. I'm actually quite tempted to put this cabinet behind the bed. I don't know if I just made that worse, but I'm gonna see if she can still get into it. Yeah, she can use that bed. That's pretty good. It looks like a big headboard and it looks kind of like storage. So that should work. Stop with the welcome wagon, I'm busy. So that's the first kids room. I'm thinking about putting up a space like right here to hang up some family photos. I feel like if you played here, we've got 8 frames, so you could put a picture of every sim in one of them. I know that's kind of silly and like they're technically empty and stuff, but I think it's a cute concept. So I might leave them there. I got this nice cute frame for some pears. I'll probably use the chair in yellow. I'm worried about putting too much else up here because I don't want to make it like not work by accident. This room, I was picturing being more of a kid's room. So we want to get some toys in here and specifically toys that work for children. So I want to put a little drawing table. I don't know if I can put one of these wardrobes. I think if I am cutting it close enough, I might be able to, but I'm gonna see if she can still get up here because I'm not sure. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, you can still use it. Oh my gosh, that's actually huge. So she can get in all of those. I think I'll make this room have kind of a green theme to match the dinosaurs. And maybe I'll use this like little kids wallpaper or something. They've got a piggy bank up there. I think they could probably also have a mirror right here. I've been trying to put those in a lot of the rooms. Mirror, dresser, piggy bank. Maybe if I could put some drawings or something on this wall. I know that's supposed to be a height chart, but I like it. It's like a little dinosaur. Okay, this might be good for the second kid's room. Okay, this last room is for the toddlers, and they have the biggest room in the whole house, which they probably don't really need, but I'm thinking this will be good because we can put a bunch of toys in here. So we can use this to put like a Blarfy, and we can put a toy box. So all of that stuff that we couldn't really fit in all of the other rooms, we can try and put in here, because all the older kids can play in here too. They can use the same toys. I'll get some pretty little kids paintings across the wall. I might get 1 or 2 more toys on the floor, like that little duck toy. Oh, maybe I could do the little kids bookshelf right there, because then I could get a dollhouse. You can size dollhouses down, so we can like make it tiny in the corner, and that still works. Oh, look at that weird little balloon light. I never used this item. Maybe we could use that in orange. I don't know. That seems good. This is actually not that bad. All things considered, it seems like a pretty normal house. The only problem is there isn't a primary bedroom. There's not a space for like the adults to sleep, but if you wanted to, you could put a regular couch right here and then put like a bedroom for the adults in this room. For the sake of the challenge, they can sleep in the living room, but if you really wanted to play here, you could swap this out a little bit. I'm proud of myself. I think this one's one of my better micro homes. This turned out really, really well. It does use quite a few packs and it's like 46,000 simoleons, but it's fully functional, it's play tested, and it even has bedrooms instead of just like one big open room full of beds. And I think that's what I like the best about it. Obviously, we did a couple sneaky things like adding some fake rooms, but I think that's the spirit of the challenge, is you have to be sneaky. I'm putting it on the gallery if you want to download it. And I think on that note, I'll probably end the video right here. Here's kind of a top-down overview of the full layout. There's not much to see, so the tour won't be very long, but that's what the finished product looks like. Thank you again to Threadup for sponsoring today's video. And if you want to check out that link down below, you can go to threadup.com and use code lilsimsie and get 35% off your first purchase and free shipping. So make sure you check that out. Thank you for watching. Have the best rest of your day, and I'm gonna catch you all tomorrow. Okay, bye everybody. I love yellow. I think yellow is my favorite color. You might think it's blue, but it's actually yellow.